They cover just 6% of the Earth's surface, yet contain over half of the world's plants and animals. Tropical rainforests are emerald canopies teeming with life. How they can support such a variety has always been one of nature's greatest mysteries. The clues may be hidden around a small tree-covered island in the middle of the Panama Canal. Here, every year a group of somewhat unusual animals gather together. A passionate band of scientists with some rather curious habits. They throw ants out of the treetops, fix top hats on sloths, and play cell phone ringtones to bats, all in the name of science. They're attempting to piece together this jigsaw puzzle of a jungle, and they're beginning to unlock the secret life of the rainforest. The Panama Canal, Central America. Every year, 14,000 ships make the 10-hour journey through this man-made marvel. It took 10 years to build and cut shipping times from the Atlantic to the Pacific in half. When completed in 1913, the lock gates held back enough water to flood an area of 163 square miles. The result? The largest man-made lake of its time, Gatun Lake. And as the floodwaters rose around the Panamanian hillsides, they formed islands. And none as scientifically intriguing as this. Barro Colorado, BCI, an oasis of life isolated from the mainland for nearly a century. And it's this isolation that has made BCI the perfect natural laboratory. For scientists from the Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute, STRI, this is a jungle paradise. At a quarter of the size of Manhattan, it's small enough to cover on foot in a day, yet large enough to host a diversity of wildlife that rivals anywhere else on Earth. We'll be following their scientific journeys from the canopy to the forest floor, on the island and the nearby mainland forests, as they investigate how rainforest plants and animals have evolved together into an immense interconnected web of life. As the sun rises over the Panama Canal, it rouses the loudest residents of Central America. A blood-curdling dawn chorus. The wake-up call of the howler monkey.
It is one of the loudest mammalian vocalizations that we have, and it can travel more than a mile. It sort of draws air in. It goes, but really, really loud. I mean, the ground shakes.
For Katie Milton, the chorus is a homing beacon, telling her where the howlers slept last night. Katie spent more time on BCI than almost anyone else, first visiting the island over 40 years ago. And that makes hers some of the best studied monkeys on Earth. They still hide some fascinating secrets, yet they're far from quiet about it.
The howler monkey is a very sedate, low-key animal, which interestingly enough, the only thing flamboyant about a howler monkey is the howl.
They're so sedate because of what they've evolved to eat. Howlers are the cows of the treetops, spending 70% of their feeding time grazing on canopy leaves. Leaves are the engines of the rainforest, capturing energy from sunlight through the process of photosynthesis. But trees don't want to be eaten, so in their defense, many leaves produce a lethal cocktail of toxins, tannins, and tough fibers as they grow. The older the leaves are, the harder they are to digest. This has forced howler monkeys to become surprisingly picky eaters, choosing only the freshest young leaves. They howl to keep rival troops away from their favorite food. Having stripped a tree of its youngest leaves, the howlers move on in search of new growth elsewhere. Leaves, young or old, are not very nutritious, and that makes howler monkeys somewhat lethargic. Yet hidden high in the canopy, in the mainland forests across the water in Gamboa, is another animal who has evolved to be even more lackadaisical in its approach to canopy dining. Three-toed sloths eat a lot of leaves. Some tasty, tough, even toxic. And that all-consuming diet has had wide-reaching consequences. They've evolved enormous guts. Their stomachs make up 1/3 of their body weight and are home to millions of microbes recruited to break down the leaves and ferment them into sloth-friendly food. It's a lengthy process. A well-fed sloth may take over a week to fully digest its meal. To save energy during this time, the sloth hangs out and switches off. Seldom moving unless necessary, it may sleep for up to 19 hours a day and never leave its feeding tree. Yet some sloths are lazier than others. Why? To find out, we'll take a real-life Tarzan. Bryson Voirin has been studying sloth behavior for 5 years. He's never more at home than when he's swinging through the canopy. Attached to his feet, the mechanical ascender makes rope work almost as simple as climbing the stairs, one exhausting step at a time. You need to be in surprisingly good shape to study something as slovenly as a sloth.
Well, we've been hiking all day looking for a three-toed sloth, and we just found it on the top of this fig tree. He's just up there. And try to grab his arm and bring him back down to the ground. Okay, there he is. Oh, come on, man. Hey, come on. Ooh. All right. Ah, nice male. Beautiful patch. All right. All right. Okay, grab my leg. He's gonna hang on to my leg right here, and we'll just rappel down together. Ready? All right, nice and gentle. Oh, grab my hand. No, no, come
Bryson studies